Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you already know I ask you to do it every single day, and I will continue to ask you to do it every single day. Why? Because we are building a tribe, we are building a community, and let me tell you, it is the best. It is just the best. And if you don't believe me, go in the comments, talk to someone, and you're going to find out that all the people that are part of this community is the best. And if you want to be a part of it, you know what you need to do. Go down in these settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too, so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in, and give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, the algorithm. Whew, I'll tell you, sometimes I win though. Sometimes I win. Also, I just want to give a shout out and a big thank you to all the people who support the channel by watching the commercials. Let me tell you, it helps so much, and I appreciate you so much. I know it's not easy. I know those commercials can get pretty long, but watch them as much as you can and help the channel out as much as you can because it is so greatly appreciated. Also, right about here, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation, our super thanks button is right over there. And all donations to the channel is always, always, always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all. With all that said, let's get to the read because, of course, we have a lot. I've been crawling around in these internet streets all day. And I'm telling you, I'm probably going to have to do a pop up tomorrow because I just found so much stuff that I just can't fit in. Sometimes that happens because y'all know I'm nosy. And when I am putting the read together, y'all know what I do. I hit these internet streets, and that's exactly where I have been today. Just all over the place on all the social media platforms. I mean, I went from Blue Sky to TikTok, from TikTok to Instagram, over there spying on Meghan, but I didn't see anything that she posted today. And just seeing what the Instagram squatties are talking about, they're all over the place, but they still are dragging that Sophie Canduka. They are still dragging her, still digging up stuff on her. And like I said, that's why I might have to do a pop up about that tomorrow because some new stuff has come up about her. She might as well just step down. I don't understand. I mean, because it's all going to come out in the washing and the rinsing anyway. But I digress. And then I left Instagram and went over to X, formerly known as Twitter. We all know that it is a sewer, and that's what I call it. But let me tell you, the squatties over there are doing the same thing, but they're also talking about Andrew and how he has pulled Charles into his nonsense, trying to secure some money. And he got caught up with that Chinese spy. And let me tell you, it looks like Charles was involved in that too. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about William. And I know how he is mad because we all know that it has been Meghan all week. And he even he made an announcement about Earthflop and nobody paid it any attention. So we got to talk about that. And we're going to talk about a headline that popped up in the Daily Mail. And it's basically clickbait, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So we have a lot to talk about. Like I said, we're going to talk about some of these derangers have just about lost their minds. And even some of these people who said that they are fans. I talked about her earlier in the week, Elizabeth Holmes. Y'all remember where we were talking about how the squatties was giving her a side eye because she had got one of those PR packages, and she used to be a full-on troll, and then she flipped the script and now she is a fanatical fan. And I'm going to talk about how fanatical she has become. It is just ridiculous and a little creepy, to say the least. So we're going to talk about that. So we have a lot to talk about, but we really have something really good to talk about, some good news first. And I am going to put it up. I am. Here it is. It is an article from People, and People is letting us know that Meghan, well, I'm just going to read it. It says Meghan Markle's As Ever products will expand into home goods. It's an extension of me. Yes, but we kind of knew this, didn't we? Because when she went and applied for her trademark, we saw all the stuff that she was applying for to use the name. That was what was American Riviera Orchard. Yes, and we saw the whole litany of all the items that she was pursuing this trademark for. So of course it would be the same thing with As Ever. And so we're not really surprised by it, but we are delighted about the fact that, yeah, it's going to come to fruition. And this particular article, like I said, I found it in People, and it says the Duchess of Sussex may have already given a glimpse of one of the not yet released products on her Instagram. Yes, she kind of hinted a little bit. And what they're talking about is something that the squatties already caught. I mean, they were talking about this online. It was a buzz, but among the squatties. So I'm going to read on and then I'll show y'all what they're talking about. It says Meghan Markle, As Ever lifestyle brand, is going beyond the kitchen. The Duchess of Sussex, 43, recently spoke to Inc. surrounding the first product launch for her business venture, the fruit spread, honey, flower sprinkles, teas, and other tasty offerings, all carefully selected by Meghan, sold out within an hour of going on sale on April 2nd. I hope that people see that the reflected in whatever it is that I am creating and putting out there, she told the outlet, is just an extension of me. And it says, As Ever plans to unveil new items seasonally. So it's not going to be the same items. It said they're going to have different items and it's going to be seasonally. Expanding beyond the culinary products into hospitality and home offerings. Yes, I love it. I love it. Like I said, whatever she's selling, I am buying. And I'm going to put this picture up. This is what they're talking about. And y'all see the little red circle? Yes, it is a flower pot. And if you look closely, it has Meghan's logo on it. And this is what they're saying, that it was kind of a glimpse into what she was going to be selling when it comes to household goods. And there it is, the pot. Yes, I love it. And it goes on to say, I just want to mention this part of the article because it talks about the CEO, Ted Saranda, of Netflix, and talking about partnering with Meghan and saying that they are a passive partner. So Meghan has the helm of her company, even though she is partnering with Netflix, it is all her. And I love that for her. I do. And so they talked about the success that she brought to Netflix with her lifestyle show With Love Meghan that premiered on March 4th. Yes, so they talked about that. And we all know it is a solid hit. And those rags over there cannot say anything any different than it is a hit, because we all know how they like to rewrite history. But it's in the record books now, and you will not be able to steal this victory away from her. Meghan knocked it out of the park. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this up. And it says Meghan's cash soft cable knit sweater is sold out in every fit and in every size. Her power, Meghan effect. And y'all remember this was yesterday when she was making her homemade pudding to go into her, what is it, Chantilly Lily dish that she created for her daughter from her grandmother's recipe. Yes, and she was, dancing around in the kitchen, enjoying herself, loving up on her dogs, and she had this cast soft cable knit sweater on, and it sold out immediately. It was found on the Gap website, and I'm telling you, who would not want to partner with Meghan? And it's my hope that Meghan does not put on anything or touch anything that she is not getting a piece or a bite off of. I'll put it to you this way: unless it is a small woman headed or founded company that really is small and really need her to help it to get started and need, it is my hope that Meghan, everything that she touches, everything that she uses or wears, she is getting a bite off of it. I hope that is the way Meghan handles her business from now on, unless making exceptions for small businesses, women led businesses that she want to help, that like the business she helped with, she had that shirt on that had Archie and Lily's name on the neck, stuff like that, and the bracelets she wore over when she was at Invictus and helped that company, stuff like that. Yes, but like big companies like Gap and um J Crew and all of those, or any kind of cookware or anything that she touches, I hope she is getting a bite off of it, because the Meghan effect is truly real. And why should she not benefit from her own effect? I'm just saying. So I love this, and I hope Megan got a little bite off of this Gap sweater. And I bet you the line of businesses and companies that want to work with her is around the block, and probably all the way down through the um, downtown Montecito. If they would line up, it would be just that long of a line, because Megan can sell things. And in the world today, that's power. And I just love it for her. I do. And like I said, I hope she getting a bite off all that stuff. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up. And this particular squatty just said something so sweet, and it's so true. And it says, I was waiting for the noise to die down a bit just to express how incredibly proud I am of you, Meghan Markle. You really did it. After all the abuse, torment, and horror, you found your strength and rose from the ashes stronger than ever. Congratulations, Queen. Isn't that sweet? I love this post because it expressed what I think all us squatties are, feeling right now. We're so proud of her. She did it. And she rose out of the ashes like the phoenix that she is. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up because it's starting to happen. It is starting to happen. What is starting to happen? Squatties are starting to get their packages from as ever. Yes, they're starting to get all of their items. And this particular squatty said this: squatties are receiving their orders. I hate that I missed out, but I am so happy for all the supporters who were able to get their orders in. Please keep sharing your pictures. Exactly. I said this in the beginning. I missed out totally, but I couldn't have been happier because everything sold out. If I had gotten all of it, I don't think I could have been any happier than I was. I don't, because I am willing to wait my turn. I just wanted it to be a success. That's it. And it was, and I am thrilled and I'm happy about it. And I cannot wait to see all the pictures of the squatties, that they're all the pictures that the squatties are going to post of their items. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. My timeline is sitting on ready. It is. I love it. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this up. If y'all remember, I think it was the day after Megan's launch. And she sent out these boxes to these PR boxes, some to the press, some to her friends. And this particular person got one. And the squad was not really happy with it because her name is Elizabeth Holmes. And Elizabeth started out as a very hateful troll, a troll of a journalist, a flying monkey to be exact. And then all of a sudden, she kind of flipped the script and became this fanatical fan. I mean, borderline stalker type thing. And she has been up to her tricks again. And we're going to talk about what she's doing, what Little Tooth, Big Tooth is doing, and some other. I have never saw anything like these people who say they hate Meghan, but they are just consumed with everything that is her. And I'm gonna put this up. It says, "How did this stalker journalist end up in Meghan's mailing list?" And we was questioning that. We talked about that, and we pretty much kind of, gave it the side eye. Well, we were right for giving her the side eye because I'm gonna put this up. Look at this. This particular squatty kind of expressed how we were feeling at the time, saying, "I understand the business behind the decision to reward her, but Elizabeth Holmes gives off single white female vibes when it comes to Meghan and the Ginger Avenger." Wait, it's the lie. And wait, when I tell you what she has been up to, you'll know exactly what the squatty is talking about. All right, I'm going to put this up. This is what she's been up to. It says, "Now you know why some of us have misgivings about Elizabeth Holmes. She's snooping around and sharing possible as ever distribution warehouses is a deranged behavior, especially knowing that Meghan is stalked and harassed by derangers for everything she does." Yes, this woman is trying to find out what distribution warehouses is distributing Megan's products. Why? Why is she doing that? Look down where it says, okay, so all of the as ever shipping notices you all have very helpfully shared are coming from Nashville and Illinois, a small town way down south. This woman is crazy. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? She's trying to track what distribution warehouses is distributing Megan's products. Why? Why would you do this? One thing about the squatties, when it comes to not giving a SHIT about what's going on with that family, it is no way we would ever try to track down anything about Kitty Cat or William or Charles or his horse. We could care less about anything like that. But these people make such a effort in all the small details to just dissect everything when it comes to Meghan. And it's weird and it's creepy and it's deranged and it's stalkerish to say the least. And this particular squatty commented on her doing that and said, I tried to ignore this lady on the timeline, but she engaged in this knowing what will come of it. What is her end game here? Does she do this with every brand, manufacturer, or distributor? That's why folks will never trust her. She may pretend, but deep down, she is the same. meaning she's still the same old weird troll that she always have been. Like I said, the squatties have always given her the side eye ever since she says she has flipped and now she is a fan. I wish I could post that video of her opening that box. It was so weird to say the least. And her asking her fans or her subscribers to send in their experience when they receive their items from as ever. Yes. She said, I want to just get the experience. It was so creepy and so single white female, just like this other squatty that said prior. It is just downright weird. And this particular squatty up under it said this: Elizabeth Home is very dangerous and deranged. She wants what Meghan has and will do anything in her power to take it away from her. She needs to be watched by Meghan's new comms team. Where is the lie? Because y'all know I told you that everything Meghan wears, she buys it and takes pictures in the outfits. I kid you not. This is what she does. It is just over the top, and it just kind of veers over the line into a stalkish behavior. It does. I mean, totally deranged, totally cuckoo, totally delulu. Who does that? What good and what benefit do you have finding out where the distribution warehouses are or the manufacturers of Meghan's products? Why are you doing this? What is the benefit here? Like this squatter said, what is the end game? She needs to be watched. If she really Meghan needs to take out a restraining order against her because she is crazy. I mean, judging from the squad's behavior towards those folks across the pond, and we don't even hate them. That is the crazy part. They just profess that they hate Meghan and everything she does is horrible and awful and whatnot. And I always have said that the squad is nothing like them because at the end of the day, we don't hate those folks over there. You have to actually have some kind of feeling or emotion for somebody to garner up hate. You know what I'm saying? To muster up any hate for anybody. And we are totally void of any feelings when it comes to those folks over there. We don't care enough to hate them. I'll put it that way. You have to really care about somebody to hate them. We don't care anything about them. So we don't hate them. We just want them to leave Harry and Meghan alone. I tell you, I have said this time and time again, if they would leave Harry and Meghan alone, I would never, I'm telling you, their names would never fall from my lips because I don't care. I care nothing about what they're doing. I care nothing about where they are. I care nothing about anything that they are involved in. I mean, nothing. But these people care so much that they go and just look up every little minute detail. And it's so ridiculous and spooky. I'm just saying. Lock your doors, Meghan. Lock your doors. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up, and this squad is pretty much saying the same thing. It says, this thread is interesting. Elizabeth Home is very deranged and dangerous. She wants to know the distribution center for Meghan's business. Tell me that it's not crazy. And this is the thread that she's talking about it with some of her followers. It's not, I mean, come on now. Even when you are a fan, you don't cross the line into something like that. That's craziness. That's the Lulu. That is, like I said, almost straight jacket type behavior, if you know what I mean. Take your medicine already, Elizabeth, because we all know you own something. Please take them because it seems like you are totally off them, to say the least. All right, I'm gonna put this up, and here's another stalker too. This Brittany, and y'all know Brittany is the one I said called Little Tooth, Big Tooth. Yes, the one that Meghan fixed her teeth. They used to be little bitty teeth, now they're huge teeth. She overcompensated, went from little teeth, little bitty teeth, and all them gums to now bigger teeth. And I said that to say this: she has profited off of her hate for Meghan. Hate for profit is her business model, to say the least. And this is what she posted and said. So Brittany is hoping that her package comes with the Meghan touch. Yes. She was talking about, I just hope I just get the full experience of what Meghan, her products. I hope they're packaged this way. And I just want the full Meghan effect. This is supposed to be someone who hates her. This is supposed to be someone who trolls her. They are confused fans. I have heard Squatty say that so many times. Now, me, I just call them fools. I don't call them confused fans. I call them fools, what they are. But I digress. Yes, they might just be confused fans and fools too. I'm just saying. But yes, talking about she just hope it comes with the Megan touch. Does that sound like a troll to you? That sounds like somebody who is totally out of their minds because they profit off of the hate for her. You go on her channel, it is just post after post after post of negative things and lies about Meghan, but yet and still she wants to participate in the Meghan experience. And she's supposed to be a Kate fan. She's supposed to be a fan of that family. And do they ever do anything like that for that family? They are doing stuff over there all the time. But yet and still, they will stop talking about what's going on with them and revert back to what's going on with Harry and Meghan. She makes what's going on with Harry and Meghan a bigger priority than her supposedly faves. Show me a squatty that'll do some stupid stuff like that. Show me a squatty that would do some insane stuff like that. Because we could care less most of the time. Most of the time, when I talk about them, I just drag them because they have been acting crazy towards our faves, that they won't leave Harry and Meghan alone. They're constantly doing stuff to try to sabotage them or to abuse them. So we, in return, talk about them. Like I said, I've said it time and time again. If they would leave Harry and Meghan alone, I would not even, their names would not even fall from my lips. But they can't say that about Harry and Meghan because they are consumed with Harry and Meghan. How can you say you're a fan of someone and you don't have anything about them on your page? You have everything on your page is about this one woman or Harry and Meghan. How can you be a fan of Kate and Williams and Charles and his horse, and you'll never have them on your page? It makes no sense. But this particular squatty goes on to say, I wonder if she fangirled and booked her ticket to Brazil for Williams' Earthshot prize yet. You know, like how she tried to get to Invictus Games, Germany, and she was banned from entering. Laugh out loud. Don't think we forgot about that, Biatch. No, we didn't forget about that, Biatch. But yes, why aren't you not trying to go to Earthflop? Why? Why are you not trying to participate in what's going on with them? Why are you not buying Charles's jam? Charles has jam. He has all kinds of stuff. He has ties and scarves and all that kind of stuff. Do a review on that. You know, The horse she had, I think she did a speech or something about domestic, V. Why aren't you not, raising money to contribute to that? Do something with that. Why are you so laser focused on Harry and Meghan? It makes no sense to me. And like I said, it is a full on disease. People can say whatever they want to, but it's a mental illness. It is. And it needs to be studied. Maybe one day it will be because it's needed. Because these people, who does these things? I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. This is another deranged, fevered minded old toad, and this is what they posted on TikTok. I kid you not. And this particular squatty reposted it and said, it says, Jesus Christ, a human being, actually commented this on TikTok. And let's see what she said. She said, Crystal Weimer, and she said, I actually pray for the day that Harry divorces Meghan and get full custody of the children and find his true princess. Could I be that princess? Fevered minded. This is why they hate Meghan so much, because they are envious. They want what she has. And that's what she said. Could I be that princess? Put it out there for everybody to see how fevered minded and crazy she is. Lock the doors, Meghan. Lock the doors. And this particular squatty came up under that and said, and they said the Sussex squad are dangerous. No, we only dangerous with the truth. We are dangerous with the receipts. We will never, ever do any kind of stupid stuff like that because, like I said, for those people across the pond, you really have to care to put in this kind of energy that these people are putting in towards Meghan and Harry. You have to have some kind of feelings. Like I said before, we don't have none of that. We could care less about those people. You know, we could live the rest of our lives not even saying their names and focusing on our face. But these people, these fevered minded old, ugly old, envious, jealous old hags that want exactly what Meghan has or want to be somewhere in her orbit, just buying up. The squatties, could not buy her product for all of these fevered-minded old hags, toadies, flying monkeys, potato heads, old skanks, trolls, and derangers. We could not get in there for them because they want the Meghan experience. Isn't that something? But yet and still, Meghan is this horrible person. These people need to, I just don't even know how they actually square that circle. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And it is good news. It's delicious because these people, Vanity Fair, decided to take the low road to attack Meghan and to follow what old Katie Nichols trying to destroy Meghan with a hit piece right before her new show came out with Love Meghan. But we only found this out because Meghan pushed the premiere back and they could not stop the hit piece. And there it was. And we have discussed this hit piece and where it come from and why they absolutely wrote it, and all of the women who was trying to say that they had been vindicated because of it, and it was filled with unnamed sources and just regurgitated lies. And yet and still they are, we've been vindicated. We've been vindicated. Flat face, Camilla Tominey, and the one that lost her eyelashes, what is her name? Victoria Arbiter. And who was that? I think Katie Nichols too. And who else said that they were somehow vindicated? But in actuality, it was a flop. And so they have really suffered for that because we don't engage with them anymore. I see Vanity Fair and I just go right ahead. When I see Vanity Fair on my timeline, and they have been coming with some positive stories about Meghan here or late, but I pay no attention to any of them. If it's good or bad or indifferent, I don't engage with them. I don't. I give them zero engagement. I pay them dust and seem like all the other squatties are doing the same and they are not getting any kind of engagement on these internet streets. And this particular squatty said this, guys, I'm so proud of us and our boycott of Vanity Fair. Ever since that nasty, disgusting hit piece and the nasty pieces that have come out since, none of us gives this trash outlet the time of day. Their engagement is abysmal. Yes, because we don't have nothing for them. We see you, we see exactly what you're about. And then you remember that former, I think he was a former editor of Vanity Fair. He just came out not long ago talking all his nonsense about Meghan and probably has, oh, wait a minute, I think he said he worked on the piece when prior to her and Harry getting married, that he worked on that cover that came out of Meghan. If I can find it, I'll put it right here. Of Meghan prior to her getting married. And he was saying how Meghan was expecting to talk about her charity work and not about Harry, but they wanted her to talk about Harry. So that was supposed to be the rub between Vanity Fair and Meghan. But I digress. He came out with that. Vanity Fair has just been totally and completely nasty. And we all know why. A lot of British people work for Vanity Fair. So we all know that family over there has a lot of control when it comes to Vanity Fair. And of course, Katie Nichols, I think she is an associate editor over at Vanity Fair. Yes. And she was the one really peddling this hit piece really, really hard. Well, I hope it's been worth it because right now Vanity Fair gets nothing. Nobody gives them any kind of engagement. Like this particular squatter said, their engagement is abysmal. And it says before they would get like 1,000 likes per post. Now they ain't getting half of that, not even a quarter. And I just love that for them. I really, really do. And this particular squatty posted this article that they have recently posted saying, I only managed to spend $64 on Meghan Markle's as ever goods before things sold out. Why are you doing this? And then had the nerve to write an article about it. I can't with Vanity Fair. I cannot with them. I will never engage with them. I will never, ever, ever have anything nice to say about Katie Nichols because we all know she was involved in the hacking scandal. She was getting information from all of these people, these private detectives that was digging into Meghan, digging into Harry, even when Harry was a little boy. And she was benefiting from that, writing stories about it. So that's the reason why she don't want to be exposed. But every time she goes somewhere, we are in the comments to remind them of who she is. She was over at ET Entertainment Tonight. I think she is a regular contributor over there. And boy, did we go in those comments and let them know exactly who she is. That she was involved in that hacking. You know who she is, and this is nothing but a smear campaign. She went over there peddling that hit piece over on Entertainment Tonight. and we went in there and wrecked those comments because we wanted them to know who she was. And I think I saw her on Entertainment Tonight maybe one or two more times, but she don't get called up as regular as she used to. And I hope at the end of her contract they don't renew because she don't deserve it. She is a hack. She is a royalist hack. That's all she is. I'm just saying. But yes, this is what Vanity Fair. They're trying to write some positive articles, positive or negative. We're still gonna treat you the same. And that is just serve them up plate after plate after plate of dust. They get nothing out of the squadron. Nothing. Because we know who they are. What does Maya Angelou says? When someone shows you who they are, believe them. And they showed us who they were. And we believed them. And we don't want to have nothing to do with them. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty comes in with some good news. Yes, it seems that the editor in chief of Vanity Fair has gotten the boot. Yes, this particular squatty says this: laughing my A off. The editor in chief of Vanity Fair that greenlit that hit piece on Harry and Meghan is out. It says, amidst deepening melees, Ronika Jones leaves Vanity Fair. Yes, I'm telling you, it is something going on over there at Vanity Fair. We have been paying them dust. They have been getting low engagement, and they have been really, really showing themselves the rag that they are. And a lot of people don't like that. You know, they don't like it. And so they are really, really struggling over there. And all I can say is go ahead on and slip down the drain, Vanity Fair, because you have shown yourself to be a rag, just as much of a rag as the Daily Fail, as the Daily Mail, the Daily Fail, as the Daily Express, and the Mirror, and all those other rags over there. Yes, go get a job over there because it is on the same level. You know, Vanity Fair used to be a legacy magazine, something you could respect. You know, it has some prestige. You know, they have a big party after the Oscars every year. Everybody want to be a part of that. But they have allowed themselves to get involved in this nonsense from this family over there across the pond, and they have just demeaned themselves and lowered themselves to the point where people just don't, they don't respect them anymore. That's the same thing with the Hollywood Reporter. They have allowed themselves to get into this fight and just lower themselves to show exactly what kind of rag and what kind of nonsense that they are willing to participate in, including lying and smearing. And since that, they have just put their reputations on the line and they have lost. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And the Daily Fail is at it again. Now they're talking about the nutritional value of Meghan's jam. And they got an article about that, talking about the nutritionists weigh in on how healthy Meghan Markle's as ever jam really is. My whole thing is any jam really healthy, worth eating? I'm just saying, you're going to have sugar. And you remember in my last podcast, we went over all of the ingredients in this particular jam, and it's like 4 or 5 ingredients. And when you look at other jams and their ingredients, it is what, maybe 12, 13, 14 different ingredients on the label, where it's only 4 or 5 on Meghan's. But they have to find an angle. But of course, squatties came in there to remind them, what about Charles's jam? You want to say that Meghan's jam possibly is not nutritious, which, like I said, jam is not nutritious. by its nature of what it is a sweet that you put on your bread in the morning. And from what I understand, I have saw some reviews of it. It's not all that sweet. And y'all, I love my jam to be sweet. I'm just saying. So Megan's jam is really, really healthy because, like I said, it only has 4 or 5 ingredients. But I digress. Let's do Charles's jam. It's a squatty went in there and found Charles's jam and said, "Is Charles jam, is it healthy when it has whiskey in it?" They have a marmalade with Scotch whiskey in it. Yes, Megan has raspberry. It has organic sugar, organic lemon juice. It has what else? The raspberry, the organic lemon juice, the organic sugar, and it's the pectin, and it has something else I think, but just 4 or 5 ingredients. See, I can just rattle them off by memory because it's not that many. But yes, he has some that has whiskey in them. Why not take that to a nutritionist and see what she says about that? These people, I mean, the obsession is real. For I just cannot. I can't. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up. And this particular squatter said this is what they're trying to hide behind, trying to use Meghan to absolutely cover for. And it's this. It says they need to focus on the latest royal scandal. And what are they talking about? Well, it has come out that Prince Andrew met with Charles twice when they were discussing his whole relationship with this Chinese spy. It says Prince Andrew embroils King in Chinese spy scandal. Said Charles met with the Duke of York to discuss his future, including plans for an investment scheme run by Yang Tenpo, an alleged spy from Beijing, a new documents claim. Yes. And they said he had the run of the place. He was all up and down and all in those royal palaces and buildings. Yes. This Chinese spy that when they found out what he was up to, made him pack his little clothes up and go back home because he was considered just that nefarious and dangerous to the security of the United Kingdom. But yet and still he was running around with Andrew trying to get this scheme off the ground where Andrew could make some money and support himself. And evidently Charles was on board with that. This is my take on that. And this is why I just feel the monarchy it is such a scam and a waste of time because one person, the monarch, has control over all the finances. And the other siblings born into this family is at the mercy of the monarch. Like Charles has everything, Andrew has nothing. So he scrounges around and look for nefarious ways to make money and maintain his lifestyle. It's just so unfair to me. Why he would have to do all that and Charles just has everything. And that's the life that they wanted for Harry and Meghan because William would have ascended to the throne and he would have been in control of everything. I mean, everything. Harry would have been at his mercy. So would have Meghan. So would have those babies. And they would have used them and abused them in every form of fashion to bolster themselves. And it would have been a nightmare. It would have been. I am so glad that they escaped that gilded cage. But I digress. Andrew is not a person of character. Let's put it that way. But a lot of what's wrong with Andrew, too, is being a part of that family. He pretty much has to fend for himself. Charles was saying, I'm not going to take care of you anymore. I'm not going to give you any money. What was he supposed to do? He was trying to find a way to maintain his lifestyle. And the only way he knows how to do that is grifting and stealing and thieving, because that's what their family has done for thousands of years. So that's all he knows how to do. And he's trying to do this and secure his future because he's well into his 60s. So, of course, I'm sure he's worried about that. I'm just saying, it is horrible. It's horrible. But we all know who Charles is. I'm just saying. This particular squatty said this: not a self-righteous King Charles got caught up in another scandal with Prince Andrew. Andrew will continue to be protected by the firm because his family members are also complicit in his alleged crimes. Well, it's a lie. They are totally and completely complicit. As long as he keeps his mouth shut and do not say anything against them, they ain't gonna say nothing about what he has done. They gonna absolutely circle the wagons, as we say over here in the good old USA, and protect him. I'm just saying, but not Harry and Meghan. Evidently, you know, just going around from place to place with a Chinese spy and having them in Buckingham Palace and all amongst the family and everything, and scheming and plotting to try to make money nefariously. All of that is fine. Also being accused of SA and having to pay out what we don't even, God knows the amount of money he had to pay out. Well, at least his ailing old mother had to. But yet and still, that he is protected because he keeps his mouth shut and he accepts the abuse that comes along with being second in line. Yes. And Harry and Meghan's only crime was that they stood up for themselves and they talked about what was done to them, and they have survived and even thrived. That is what they consider the crime that Harry and Meghan has committed. It's ridiculous. I'm just saying. And this particular squatty reposted this, well, posted this, and it says, after a clandestine meeting in Windsor Castle, King Charles Windsor secretly approved his brother Prince Andrew's plan to profit from his public royal role. Andrew planned to sell contact details of entrepreneurs collected by his charity Pitch Place. Charles was fully aware of what Andrew was doing. He knew Andrew was doing nefarious things, and he absolutely just went along with it. He knew it because Charles had done nefarious things. Like what? Cash for honors? Does that ring a bell? Yes. So this is just second nature to Charles and that family. The only crime that Andrew has committed in their eyes is getting caught, allowing the press to see what was going on behind the curtain. Because in actuality, you can do whatever you want to in that family as long as you keep it behind the curtain. I'm just saying. And this particular squatty said this, posted that and said this: King Charles the Cruel in another shady connection. Where is the outrage about the royal actually cashing in on heir's title? Exactly. But yes, where's the outrage? Want to know. Because they have been talking nonstop about Sentebale, knowing too that this woman has done nothing but lie and lie and lie and been caught in lies. But they just want to talk about that and not about what's going on here with Andrew and Charles. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up and look. Looky. Brazil to host Prince William's Earthshot Prize. Going to South America. Now, wasn't it just last year that this very famous couple went to Colombia that is in South America? Yeah, I think they did, right? So why would we be surprised if the brother of Prince Harry, who went to South America last year with his wife, Meghan, Prince William would not do the same thing, because it would be out of character if he had an original thought that popped in his head, or those PR people that he has over there at Kensington Palace. I believe if they had an original thought and it popped in their head, it probably would scare them to death. So yes, he's going to Brazil for the Earth Lop. Down to South America. That's where we want to go. And like I say, it was predictable. I'll put it that way. Not shocked by it at all. I'm just saying. I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty said this: William has to recruit celebrities to be the face of his fraudulent environmental prize, and literally has them fly all over the world to lend their celebrity status. Media crickets. Where is the lie? They have been just talking about Sentebale, just report after report after report, but yet and still, he has pay celebrities to walk the carpet to be a part of Earthflop. I mean, not just a few coins. I mean, he be giving them the big coins. We all know that Heidi Klum last year didn't even know what Earthflop was about. She was there just to collect the coins. But yet and still, crickets from that fake faux media over there, who didn't know how to practice journalism if they gave classes out for free. And it says Charles is continuously appointing new celebrities as ambassadors to the King's Foundation and the King's Trust. What is the lie? They always trying to seek out somebody to bring some shine to them, because they are dull. I mean, turds to be exactly. And you know how hard it is to shine a turd. I'm just saying. And the original post said this: just a reminder, while Prince William's Earthflop barely made headlines, even though he called celebrities, the British media was far more invested in Meghan's as ever selling out in 30 minutes and Harry's statement about Sentebale. Make you ask yourself, who's really the spare? Exactly. They have to take a back seat. I didn't even know he had announced it until I started doing research on these internet streets. And I said, well, he made an announcement that that Earthflop was gonna be in Brazil. I missed that totally, and looked like a whole lot of other people missed it too. Because at the end of the day, Harry and Meghan is a juggernaut, and it rolls over everything that is over there and all of the left behinds. They cannot compete where they cannot compare. And I just love that for them, because it absolutely annoys the heck out of William. I bet he was so mad. But my whole thing is, why do you think that you have that kind of power? You should have waited to next week and announced it while Harry and Meghan wasn't doing anything. But you thought you had. He has this delusion of grandeur. He really do. He really feels like he's supposed to outshine the shiners, as they put it. But you can't outdo the doers. You cannot outshine the shiners, baby. You cannot. And when will he learn that? I'm just saying. All right, I'm gonna put this one up. And this particular squatty reposted the same thing that the other squatty had said and said this. Laugh out loud. Yep, we found our spare. And it ain't Harry. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up, and I found this so funny. This particular squatty said apparently they are looking forward to Easter for when they walk to church. That would show Meghan. That's their big moment when they walk to church. It says by the time they walk to church, Meghan will be cuddled up to her prince husband in the same bed, fast asleep. Not in the same bed, throwing shade. Not saying that William and Kate don't sleep in the same bed. I'm just saying, throwing shade. I ain't like I don't agree with it. I agree with that. I do. I believe exactly that. I'm just saying, but I'm messy though. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And look, we have a new addition to Meghan's Shop My. Yes, now LaCrue Lachette is on Meghan's Shop My. Meghan is starting to get some coins from all the business she has been sending LaCrue Lachette's way. And finally, LaCrue Lachette knows where the money resides, if you know what I mean, and where the shine resides. And my biggest hope about this collab is that Meghan gets her own line of cookware, because that's what I want. I want some Meghan cookware. But this particular squatty posted this and said, Meghan, shop my shopping link has LaCrue Lachette cookware. Get your coins, Meghan. Get your coins. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm gonna put this one up. I found this so funny. I just had to add it into the podcast. And this particular squatty said this. I have noticed that all of the PR boxes, the honey is missing. It was really a limited amount. And now I am mad all over again. Y'all snatched that honey within 5 minutes. This particular squatty still haven't gotten over the fact that she did not get this honey. And I must say, I'm a little miffed myself, because that was what I was going in for. It was the honey with the honeycomb inside. I wonder, can we get that back? I'm just saying, beekeeper, get on your job. That's all I'm saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And let's not forget, we are on countdown mode. It says in 4 days, but I think it'll actually be 3 days by the time this particular podcast is posted. We'll have Confessions of a Female Founder. I can't wait. Can you? I can't. I cannot. I just absolutely am excited about it. I know it's going to be good. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.